So that was an experience. Went in knowing what I expected, and I was satisfied. Hi guys! So as you can see, this is sort of a different kind of style video from what I've done before, and I'm so excited for it. So I'm back at home for the school year. I'm out of that godforsaken apartment, although it was really cute. We're done with it and we're on to bigger and better things, okay? We got a new mic, a new camera, like I'm ready. And so to start that out, what is a better way to start this out than to go and buy some BL? That's right, today we're going to buy some BL together. They recently opened up a new Barnes & Noble's like near around me, so I'm really excited to go and explore that, because here's the thing, I've been to many a Barnes & Noble's in my days and there's not a single Barnes & Noble's that's set up the same. Right. So I'm very curious to see if I like the layout of this one, because there's some where I really don't like the setup. Like for example, the one sort of near my school, the romance section is like set up in the cafe. Like the cafe, like there's like a little tiled area that's like cornered off, and then the bookshelf is made around that corner. So when you're looking through the romance section, you're stepping in the tile like you're in the cafe. And it's really weird and uncomfortable, and I feel open and vulnerable, and I don't like that. But a different one I've been to, the romance section is like a little cove sort of thing, and I love it. It makes me feel like, ooh, like this is the spot to be in. So yeah, we're gonna explore that. We're gonna see if we like it, if we don't. So yeah, we'll see what we can do, but we're doing this together and I'm so excited. So let's go find some good reads for this summer. Let's go. Okay, we are here. Ooh. Where should I put this? Okay, we are here, but before we go in, we need to set some ground rules. So, first things first, what am I looking for in a book, in a BL, when I go to look for one? Great question. I think for me, I look for something with an intriguing plotline, obviously. But when it comes to actual novels, books, I need dynamics in it. I need an interesting dynamic between the main character, main lead, the main characters. And I also just need something that will fully engage me in the story, because there's lots of stories that are like cute and have cute plot lines, but the writing is just not engaging enough. So yeah, overall I'm looking for something with an engaging plotline and dynamic relationship between the main characters. So that goes for books. When it comes to manga, I mostly read my manga online. So when I do buy manga in store, the only manga I like to buy in store is the Given series, because I'm trying to collect all of them. And just manga that I really, really love and I want to buy to support the author. If I have extra throwaway cash, which I don't know about today, but yes. And also pro tip for any of you going to buy books, especially at Barnes & Noble's, there's two areas where you will find romance books, BL books, and that's in the romance section and the young adult section. So that's the difference there, is that the young adult section is going to be like the clean stories, and the romance section is 99% of the time going to be the spicy stories. So yeah, just to let you know, I will be stopping in the romance section today, just because that's just what I prefer, that's what I'm in the mood for. So let's go. I'm kind of a little scared. I've never vlogged in public before, but I'm gonna try to be nonchalant about it, because that's what we do. And also Barnes & Noble's is like the one place where people tend to shop alone more than they tend to shop with other people, which is nice because everybody has different tastes in books. Even if you are with your friends, you're probably gonna split off at one point or another anyways, just because. So I don't think anybody will care, so I'm just trying to keep that mentality in here. But we're gonna go and we're gonna just, you know what, I'm not alone because we're together. So yeah, let's go do this. Let's see, fingers crossed. I want to get at least 2 books for now, because all the books I have I finished, And there's only one book right now that I'm reading. It's called Swords Crossed. Recommend. I'm about halfway through it, but it's like my nighttime book. I'm not super engaged with it right now, just at the point where I'm at in the reading. So I kind of just read off and on here and there. But I am going to try to finish it, hopefully by next month, by the end of June. But in the meantime, I'll need books until then. So I'm hoping to get at least 2 books, 2 BLs today. So let's hope we can do that. This is officially the nicest Barnes & Nobles I've ever been inside. This is crazy. It's set up like a maze though. Like it's a maze. Okay, fiction there. I'm gonna have to like search around to try and find things. Okay, so now we're gonna explore the manga section, but I'm gonna take note of all the BLs I have read and I haven't read. Let's see how many there are. Hey y'all, voiceover me here. Like I said, let's see which mangas I haven't read, but we're gonna go fast. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Red, 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 red. Haven't read, red, 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 red. Haven't read, looks good. Probably read, haven't read, red, haven't read, but would def read. Red, 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 red. Probably red, 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 and red. So that was an experience. That place was set up like the back rooms, and I'm sorry if I was old, if I had like vertigo or something, I would have actually lost my mind in there. It was all the same color. It was both over and under stimulating at the same time. If this is how all Barnes & Nobles are going to be set up now, I'm going to Books A Million. That was really interesting. So you kind of saw a couple of the books I was looking at. I actually got tricked by one of them, thinking that it was a BL and it wasn't. It was just called Bromance because. So I only made it out with one book because all of the BL books I found were mostly enemies to lovers, which I think is really interesting. And the only ones I really remember are the historical ones, and there was a couple more hockey ones. But so this is the one I ended up getting. You're the Problem, It's You. I think that that's a really cute title, first off. So this book seems to be a enemies to lovers. The top says, the enemies to lovers queer Victorian romance follow up to Don't Want Don't Want You Like a Best Friend, in which a young lord and a second son clash but find themselves thrust together again and again by their meddling cousins. So I believe that there's a prequel to this book, which is a GL, Wallawa, but this book is the second book in the series and is a BL. So I'm really excited for this. I like the description, I like the cover art, and you probably saw there was another historical BL romance, and that was also Enemies to Lovers, and this one just caught my eye more. And usually when I'm buying books, I don't like to buy two books with very similar plot lines, just because once I need one, I need a break, I need to read something else. And then the other hockey one I saw, it just didn't intrigue me that much. So this is what we made out with for now. I'm really hungry, so let's go get some food and chat. Bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, bum, 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 ba-da-dum, bum, 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 bum. You like the SpongeBob meme? Okay, day 2, we are back, and I'm here to find some more BL because I was disappointed last time. Okay, honestly and frankly, I was scared in that Barnes and Nobles that looked like the back rooms, and I'm ready to go to a place of familiarity, of comfortability now, which is the good old BAM, Books A Million. Now, Barnes & Nobles to me is like waking up for work and going to your local coffee shop where the drink costs more than anywhere else you would go, but it's worth it and it tastes good. Okay, that's usually what Barnes & Nobles is like for me, except for the other day. But now, Books A Million is where I woke up late for work, I'm running out of time, but I have the ingredients to make my own coffee at home. So I do that and it tastes like coffee. It's familiar. I know what I know where my expectations are set, and I'm not disappointed. So I do appreciate that. So Books A Million for me, I know what I'm going in there and I know what I'm expecting, and I'm probably going to get it. That's what I mean by that analogy. So I'm ready to find some good finds. I have come out of Books A Millions empty-handed before. That's besides the point. And before we go and find a book, there is one other thing I was thinking about that I didn't mention before that I do pay attention to when I'm looking for new books to read. And I'm sorry to any millennials, I really am, but there is a millennial writing style, speaking style that millennial authors will put into their books that is unbearable for me. There have been books that I have bought on ebook and returned the same day because I get 4 pages in and the most secondhand embarrassment cringe thing happens, and it's I can't. And then the way that they speak to each other is just so unrealistic almost. Yeah. And so today I want to find a book with a sweeter romance. I'm not super big on Enemies to Lovers just because it's really hard to get right. So I want something is really intriguing, like I said before. So let's go in, hopefully find something, maybe find 2 things. We'll see. So let's go. I went in knowing what I expected and I was satisfied. So the book I picked up from Books A Million is called Showmance. It wasn't the cover art that brought me in, okay? It was the description and the intriguing plot line. I did find a couple other books that I hadn't seen before. There were a couple that I saw in Barnes & Noble, and then there were a couple that I haven't seen before. The ones I haven't seen before were Enemies to Lovers. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, so I didn't end up getting those. This one though, it seems to be, I'll read part of the description. As if trying to work with a bunch of artless hobbyists wasn't enough, Noah runs into Luke, the jerk from his high school years, everywhere he goes. Luke somehow grew up to be beloved by everyone in town and undeniably gorgeous. As rehearsal begins, Noah is surprised by his cast's insights, the warmth of the town he'd dismissed, and the reality of what happened with Luke all those years ago. Just how much has Noah misjudged? So, it's something different, okay? It's something unique, and it reminds me of The Charm Offense, which I've talked about before. I love The Charm Offense. That one is about an actor and, yeah, it's about an actor and a director or something like that. So I'm hoping for good things. Now, I'm going to say something a little controversial. Now, when I look at a book, I look at, the book itself. I look at the author because I've been reading BL for a minute now, so I have grown accustomed to many of these authors' names and what kind of work they write, what kind of stories they write, whether they're, more in the sports genre, because there are some authors who do exclusively like hockey and sports books. There are some authors who focus on historical stories, whether it's fantasy, old-timey Bridgerton historical, or like 50s and 60s historical. There are people who do that, and then there are people who just write stories about day-to-day life. But something I've noticed is that I do prefer female writers, just because, I don't know, I've read a couple books by male authors, and they just don't hit the same sometimes, whether it comes to spicy scenes, or I think it's mostly just the intimacy in general. So I'm giving Chad a chance here. I'm giving him a chance. So I think I'm more excited for this one than I am the other one. And especially because it's a little bit thinner, it's a little bit of a shorter read. And I do prefer shorter reads. Like, I prefer a good, 5-hour knock it out kind of read. I don't know how long this one will be in total. But I think that concludes this video. Thank you guys so much for joining me and coming to buy BL with me. I don't know, maybe it's a little bit underwhelming, but this is the reality of trying to buy books in America day to day. And one thing I do sort of hope for is that due to Heated Rivalry's success and the way it has boosted the BL reading that people do, I do sort of hope for maybe like an LGBTQ romance section in stores soon, just because you saw me sorting through all those books one by one by one. It just gets to be very time consuming to do all that, and I think that people who read LGBTQ romance are specifically looking for it, so maybe just to save the time for them. But also, I completely understand just putting them in the romance section, because romance is romance no matter who you love. But for the reader's sake, I almost wish that that was an average thing, because sometimes at Barnes and Nobles, depending on where you go and depending on how much room they have for it, they'll do a little side shelf of an LGBTQ section, but they only put like 10 books there, maybe 15 books there, and the rest of them just go back into the romance section. So yeah, I think it would definitely save readers time, and it would get more visibility for these writers who are writing stories that they love. And if you've seen my TikTok or my Instagram, you know that I am working on my huge BL list of every BL I've ever read, including manga, manhwa, and I'm going to be adding all the novels I've read as well. And this is just for me to personally keep track, but I've had many people comment that they want to see it just so that they can find some stories to read as well. So I'm hoping to put that out very, very soon once I get everything sorted and organized. I have to be type A for that. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!